Welcome everybody back to another BOLDcast reaction. I'm Lindsay.
I'm Carson.
And today we are watching Jujutsu Kaisen episode 19. What happened last time?
Last time Hanami showed up and we're gonna see, and it seems like everything's falling apart. Gojo can't get in, but everyone else can. That was the trade-off that the evildoers
Old man
made.
has a guitar, so he's pretty cool.
And we're gonna see what happens with that guitar this episode.
And with that, we ask you to please support the official release. Do not come here to watch the show for free. Come here to see what we have to say about it. And also, make sure to like and subscribe if you end up liking this video. Jujutsu Kaisen, episode 19, let's go.
So we can direct it then? He said stop, but the other guy...
He's like really... You can't keep doing it though. You can tell he's like getting super burnt out.
They just gotta get back to everyone else. How to just like stop its hearing. Just like such a simple counter, but...
Still would really like to know what's under that bandage.
Fuck.
Oh.
He used his voice too much? Is that what happened?
Oh.
Oh my god. No.
Be careful.
Please don't die here. Inumaki, you're the fucking coolest one.
Oh.
Ah. It wasn't far. If you fucking didn't hit the building, it would have been fine. What's his weakness? Oh, I forgot about that. We saw that in the opening.
Yeah.
I commented on it. It's just like amongst rubble. There's a gun there. What?
I mean,
yeah, like, Mai has a gun, but like, it was like a rifle.
damn. Oh.
So one demon dog is as powerful as two now?
Or is as powerful as all the other ones that have gotten killed? That was so cool. That was really cool. Ew.
That's what I figured. It's a vampire. How are you different, Megumi? Yuji and Todo? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nice.
The two best friends. My friend.
And now he's all stronger now.
Now it's the OP. Yeah, exactly. Now he's
He's
gone through a
gotten
whole
some
training arc. Yeah.
Also, her glasses are gone.
Yeah.
So she's kind of fucked.
She looks well. Oh yeah, I bet she can't even see Hanami.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Like
I wasn't even thinking of that.
She can't see.
I was just commenting that she looked more like Mai without the glasses. I could tell. I was just wondering what this was in the opening. They showed them like off in the sky in the distance.
It's the one thing you've got going for you.
I mean, he's not a bad-looking guy. He's got more than that going for him. Glasses are back? Panda. I just love when they acknowledge it. It's just funny. Looking really familiar. Even Hanami looks familiar to that motherfucker in the prison. You couldn't kill me if you wanted to. What? Solo, this god of the forest.
This is the final part of your training.
I'm now your teacher? Black Flash. I bet they're just fucking around and they didn't actually develop a full technique in the last like 20 minutes.
Wouldn't be so sure.
Maito. He didn't carelessly close the distance, exactly. Fucking Jin Mori triple kick out here. Wouldn't say that. Getting too worked up. Yeah, that's what carried him last time when he was fighting Maito. He was so pissed off that he was just overflowing with energy. We're on our honeymoon now? It was dramatic the first time. I really hope Todo doesn't die, man, in this fight or something. Like, he's singing out too? Oh, man. We need to look at that. What? He's drooling? Oh, he's that focused. Oh my god, that's such a cool way to show that he's focused. I never thought of that. It's so weird, but awesome.
Whoa.
Oh my god. It's gonna end. Oh no, we're not even close to the end. We're halfway through. Holy shit, I thought it was just gonna end right there.
Holy.
He just made a breakthrough? That's a cool way of like conceptualizing it.
He's ascended to the next level. He's no longer best friend, he's a brother.
Advanced reverse curse technique to heal. So, little teaser of some medical ninjutsu there. JoJo pose? Question mark?
Oh.
Here it is. Is this another arm? Whoa. It's probably saps cursed energy. Oh my god! Oh my god! Look at this!
Holy shit.
What? They just pulled this out of nowhere! There was no... Oh my god! There was no warning for that at all. Dangerous. Todo's still... Is he still not fighting? It's...
They're both
No, he
fighting.
is. He landed Black Flash, so now...
so
Yeah,
now,
right,
so
right,
now
right,
he's
right.
in it.
Is he gonna, like, switch places or something? One of them is gonna land somewhere good, one of them is gonna land somewhere bad, and he's gonna switch places and sacrifice himself. Please don't fucking kill Todo right now.
Holy shit!
Ending? Oh no. Immensely. What is this restraining Hanami then? There's something like Hanami is like holding back or like not. There's like some sort of incongruity or something. Oh my god. Now under the arm. Torso. Oh no. Oh, we saw this. That was what distracted Gojo for a second. Anything with Todo and Yuji, instant 10 out of 10. It's always
So
good. It's immediately good. I love how one thing that I really commend this, like the way that they're handling this, is the way that the way when Hanami showed up and it was immediately like, this is no longer this is no longer a tournament, this is no longer a selection event, this is a fight for our lives. Immediately, that everything they were doing completely over, and now we're fighting together. There's no like, oh, but can I really fight with this guy after everything we've been through, or like, can I really trust him to have my back or whatever? It's instantly, no, we are Jujutsu sorcerers first. We are not like quarreling over our bullshit or like trying to do something else. This is a crisis, and we're being attacked by a terrorist right now. There's no way, like, it would just, I love how instantly they just cut all the bullshit, and we're like, okay, now we're doing our job. Fuck this.
I mean, although there was still the whole, the training's not quite done yet.
There
and
was
if you don't land this special, extremely hard thing that barely anyone ever does, then I'll just let you die.
That's
but
true.
that's just because he believed in him so much.
That's the thing. It wasn't like an actual challenge. He believed in him.
I forgot about this guy.
This fucking coat rack.
We're going to see him as a coat rack.
That's what I was thinking too. How's that? How would I? Oh, out of his bone. Oh, like he doesn't like.
I thought he was like preserving them into.
I thought it was like a Mahito sort of thing where he like twisted him up into a coat rack or like transfigured him in some way. But no, he's literally turning his like it's a physical thing. It's not like magic at all. This guy is a straight up psycho, and that's Gojo's pelvis is not that big. Didn't know that's what they meant by coat rack. Like I said, I was picturing something like he would just like sort of wring him out and turn him into like a fucking dried up like prune and like
I mean,
it
yeah,
would
I guess
harden
in a
like
way
that.
this is like the less bad version.
It's kind of more disturbing because it's not what I would expect from an anime. It's what I would expect from like a Tim Burton
a
film.
serial killer.
Yeah, or something. Like weird. Anyway.
Well, other than that,
I mean, making coat racks out of people is weird no matter how you slice it, but regardless,
that's not what the episode was about. The episode was a really, really good episode. We got to see the toll that the cursed speech has.
Yeah.
Which is really rough. It like destroys his throat.
Yes.
Which is interesting, but it makes a lot of sense because he's so overpowered if he could just do that.
He needs to do some like vocal warm-ups. I wonder if that would actually help. Like doing some sort like starting slower, like starting your day doing something like that, but you need to be in like an anechoic chamber where nobody can hear it. Or like whispering, if that would help warm you up.
I wonder if he would train, like if when he trains he just does a little bit, but it seems like maybe over time he would be able to do more, but it seems like that's always the end result.
Yeah. Well, also
when he's in a real fight and has to go all
when he
out.
when he has to use like more Jurassic things, like blasting somebody away is probably more taxing than just telling them to stop, but telling them to stop over a period of time, multiple times.
And also
go ahead,
because of the strength of the enemy, it seems to be correlated with that. Like I'm sure if he just told a person, like a normal person that wasn't that strong, to stop, they would probably stop for longer and it probably wouldn't hurt him as much. But since Hanami is so strong and so powerful, getting it to stop for even a second is a lot.
Kamo wasn't... So, Inumaki said stop, and then Hanami stopped, and then Kamo used the opening. That was, like, clearly the rhythm that they were in. But, like, so he can direct it at people? I thought the whole, like, danger of it was that it affects everybody that can hear it. In which case, like...
Maybe
that was just a timing thing, but it just doesn't make sense to me. Because, like, if he yells out, stop moving, and then everyone stops moving, but then somehow your friend who's weaker than Hanami starts moving first, attacks Hanami, while Hanami is, like, stunned.
Also, at the same time, when he ordered run, Hanami didn't just start running with no reason, so I think
Hanami was in the middle of an attack, though.
Yeah, well...
And they ran away, and then Hanami did chase them.
But it didn't seem like Hanami was chasing them because of that.
Yeah, that's true.
It seems like there is some direction to it, but it obviously is still dangerous.
Yeah.
And obviously, probably part of the reason that he can't just use it is because of what it does to him. And not just what it does to other people.
But it's just interesting. We're seeing like the example you brought up as well. It's like we're seeing more like direction and like more, and I don't know if that's on purpose. That's my thing. I don't know if that's on purpose or if it's like, it seems like it might be just I don't know, but it seems like it might be a manga to anime adaptation thing of like the way that or the way that space and time moves in a manga and the way that you show things in a manga works differently than here, and when you translate it over, there's like little, not inconsistencies, but little like weird shit like that. I don't know if that's the case or if he is just directing it. I honestly can't tell, and that's what I'm confused about.
I think that it is. He's directing it because I don't think it was a manga to this issue because the whole point was to attack while Hanami was stopped.
Yes.
Of
course, from like a writing perspective, like the way the power works and the way that you would use the power in battle, that would be great. But it needs to be established first that like he can direct it and control who he uses it on. And if that's the case, then why does he need to? I mean, other than hurting himself. I thought the reason that he doesn't, like, say normal words to other people is because it, because if he can choose who it affects, then he could choose to talk normally and have it not affect the people that he's taught, like, about his daily life. If he needs to get something across, he can say something and it won't fuck with people. If he can decide who it affects. So then he wouldn't need to say, like, salmon roe or like whatever the fuck
Well,
when he's like
maybe
walking
he's
around
not
talking.
maybe he can control it, but only to a certain degree. Like if he has a very, very clear target in mind, then it can only affect that thing. But if he doesn't have a specific target, it will go to whatever.
It makes sense. It's not that big of a thing. I'm just trying to figure it out for myself so that I can like work it out when the next time we see him in battle or whatever. It's obviously not that big of a deal because he was out of the fight for most of this episode, and he did what he needed to do to get them away. I just want to know, just for my own curiosity, I guess. It's because it is a really cool power. I just want to know the limits of it, I guess. But after that, so they went away, and then we saw. So last episode, I think we were going through the opening randomly, like looking for a specific shot, or we were looking for the hands, the principal's hands. And with the guitar and shit, and just seeing if it was like old man hands. And I paused at a certain moment where it was just rubble, and then there was that 3 like parted staff thing.
Yeah.
And I directly commented, I'm like, that's one of Maki's weapons, and that's amidst rubble. That's not a great image. That's not looking great.
Not loving that.
But you never know with the openings here, because then we watched the opening this episode, and it seems like most of the shit in the opening has already happened. It's dramatized, but we saw like Kamo using his like blood shuriken thing, and you can't tell it's blood in the opening, but he's like throwing a big shuriken thing with like force or whatever. And then we saw Fushiguro using his elephant and running out, which he already used and is gone.
Yeah.
But it was in a different place, and that's what I can't express enough how much I love the openings in the show, because they tease stuff and show stuff that's going to happen in the future without actually showing it. Like,
yeah, I like that. I like even just changing the location.
Yeah.
Makes it so that you don't expect it when it's coming. You don't know where it's going to be. Oh, he uses the elephant.
It's a cool thing. You can show it in the opening. It can be badass, and it can tease this dope fight that's going to happen.
But yeah, if you're showing it, he's doing it on a roof.
Yeah. Then you're not waiting for the moment. Okay, they're on the roof now. The good shit's gonna happen. I know it's gonna play out for the rest of the scene.
Instead, they're in the hallway.
Exactly.
And
it's awesome. That. And well, we also saw we like it's just like when you flash through all of the stuff that goes through in the opening, we've seen like more than half of it, which is kind of crazy. It's not that crazy because we're already like getting to the end but it's just like I wasn't expecting things to happen this way, and it's just I can rewatch the opening and connect. I prefer it this way, is what I'm saying, where I connect the scenes in the show to what I saw in the opening. I'm like, oh, that's that. I get it. That's cool. Oh, that's how they teased this moment. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Because it's better than the other way around, where I watch the opening and then I watch the show and I'm like, oh, that's what that, or like, oh, now we're in the part that I already saw in the opening. I know I know this like sequence of events.
It's not like super spoilery where you're like, oh, now it's time for that. I mean, it's like, it was spoilery in that it showed fighting Hanami.
Yeah. So we were expecting Hanami like the whole season, but it got into it relatively quick, and you kind of know that it's gonna turn out like in a Chunin exams-esque like attack. Oh, the only other thing in the opening was when Yuji is fighting Hanami for that moment where they're like trading blows and shit. That's obviously now. But they don't show Todo there. They just show Yuji fighting on one side, and then he teleports to the other side and then starts fighting. But I'm guessing that's Todo's ability where he can switch places.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's going on there. So that's pretty cool. But they tease that again, and you don't see Todo when Yuji's fighting Hanami. So you don't, like, when you're just watching, you don't connect it. You don't, like...
know about it.
No, yeah, exactly. The openings for the show are out, like, they're literally, like, some of the best I've ever seen. They're on the different level. The way that they tease stuff, the way that they set up your expectations, the way that they tease stuff without spoiling it, the animation, everything. I can't talk about it enough. It's like everything an opening should be. It's incredible. And then we got more best friend stuff. I love their relationship.
But now they're brothers. They've ascended from best friends.
I wanted to talk about, and remind me, I want to talk about the power scaling thing. He talked about, like, comparing those who, like, have a lot of curse energy or whatever, or curse technique or whatever the fuck he was saying. I want to go look at that, so remind me about that. But, because he was talking about that and he broke it down. He showed, like, Nanami and Gojo, and then like other teacher lady and
that was people lady. Who've used like that specific
Black Flash.
Technique.
Yeah, I want to go over that, but I want to talk about that. So I really love. I wonder if the author went through a similar thing of like cooking for themselves or like learning to cook when they like went off on their own or something. Because that's a really relatable thing for me. Because I didn't cook for like most of my life, and I'm not big into cooking. But like the whole thing of using spices and like actually seasoning stuff, it's a good like universal way of describing like a good metaphor or allusion or whatever of what they're talking about. Because like. It's just awesome because I can kind of relate to that where you're just learning to cook stuff and then you're just kind of following recipe, throwing stuff in, not understanding like the process, why you would boil something or why you would fry something in a pan rather than bake it, like depending on what you want out of the thing. You don't think about that when you're just like learning how to cook or learning how to like prepare food at all. You're not thinking about like, oh, what does if I add this whatever cumin, like you don't know what the fuck that does. If you add seasoning salt or whatever the fuck to this, like how is it going to change the flavor? You're just kind of throwing in what a recipe says, but then once you start tasting and once you cook a couple things, once you kind of understand the process of each thing, and then you can sort of pick and choose and actually understand what you're creating with each thing that you put in and with each technique that you use. So it's a really good metaphor for that, I think.
Yeah, I think that was really cool.
And I want to see that comparison because I just want to know what he was trying to say there, like comparing people who've used Black Flash to people who haven't. And is he talking about like the people who have are the Kyoto people who've used Black Flash? Is that why he's teaching Yuji?
I think it was just all of those people that he showed have used it before.
Okay. I thought he was making a comparison because it was like these two people and then these two people. Those who have experienced and those who have not. So they have? This guy is like a 4th year, right? Or a 3rd year? We saw him with Hanami in the first half. Their distance from the core of cursed energy is that of heaven from earth. So I'm unsure if all 4 of them have, and they're just showing different examples, but they're like facing different directions, and there's like clearly 2 groups. So I don't know if they probably all have if Black Flash is like a common thing. I just wanted to check that, I guess. Yeah, and then there's Hanami like holding back, not enjoying the fight, getting too wrapped up in like their goal of whatever, like of like being the true humans or whatever their end goal actually is, how they want to put that into practice. But yeah, so I don't know if that means that Hanami is now enjoying the fight and just got a power up, or what the deal is, or if there's something deeper there going on that is going to be revealed in the coming episodes. Well, it does
seem like Mahito had been talking like, oh, I didn't really do too much, and like I wasn't like trying anything because I wasn't enjoying it. And then we already know once Mahito got going, then he powered up super fast.
Got to domain expansion like in a couple days.
He went really far. He tried things that he never did before, and he was just out of control. So I guess that kind of explains it. Like if Hanami had never been enjoying the fight and was just like going through the motions of the fight, like, oh, now I'll use this move, and oh, that didn't work. Okay, now I'll go like 1 level up, and then now it's like, oh, I'm like liking the fight, so I want to try this rather than the next logical step is to do this. It's like, oh, instead I'll like get him with this.
Yeah, I think I see what you're saying.
Trying something different and unexpected. I love that like drooling scene, even though it's kind of gross. It was really cool.
Yeah, I never thought, because like you always see like people concentrating. Oh, now they're serious, but like it's kind of a, I don't know, they're not like, he's not cool about it. Like he's so not aware, not like self-conscious that he is fully focused. He's so fully focused in that he is not self-conscious. He's not worried about drooling or like looking all badass for the panel and shit. Like he's just fully immersed to the point where he's like, his mouth is open. He's not concentrating on his breathing, and like he's just fully dialed in completely. And it
makes sense. It's interesting because usually they show drooling if you're like not paying attention.
Yeah.
But instead it's like, no, you're paying attention so much to this one thing
you don't even notice.
You ignore your own spit. which
cool
is
as shit.
interesting. That was really
It's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, Todo just fighting. I love how he's so specific. Like, if you do this, then I will come in to fight. And then he's completely true to his word.
Mm-hmm.
He does it, and then he comes in, and then they're fighting together like they've been fighting together their entire life.
I love that anime. Yeah, exactly. They're fully in sync, like doing the same shit. It's just that now that ending fucked me up. Is Todo in the ending? He's not, right? But
No,
then
it's
again, none of
just
it's the Tokyo people,
Yeah.
yeah. After Junpei, man, I don't trust anybody
anyone.
who becomes like best friends with fucking Yuji. It's so scary. And obviously Todo's way stronger than Junpei, but he's also like way too cool to let like go on living just as if he's just like it's like my thing with Gojo. Gojo is like a couple big fights away from being completely crippled or like just killed or just like maimed beyond belief. And Gojo is, they just took him out of this fight because he's too powerful. With Todo, he's like not at that level, but he's at that level of like investment on our end. He's clearly been made to be the cool guy. So I'm always afraid of that, and I don't want anything to happen to him. But I'm afraid that it will, because it's just too good right now. The animation for that whole cut was incredible. It was on a different level. They popped it out out of nowhere. I did not expect them to go that hard with the fucking animation for that, like, 2 straight minutes of flipping around and, like, yeah.
I love they were in the air, and it's like, oh no, we're just in the air. Well, we'll just use each other.
But they didn't even say that. That's the best part. It's just like, brother, oh, and then they just, like, off. Oh, so good.
It was so cool. That was really awesome. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I loved also that moment at the very beginning where they switch, not them, but like in the previous fight when Maki showed up. And then her and Fushiguro switched weapons.
That was cool.
As like a trick. Mm-hmm. That was really cool. A really cool moment.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, but I would just be as pissed as Fushiguro. Like, why did you give me the horrible staff? Like, imagine trying to swing. Like, what I love the way he attacked with it. Is he just overhand went like just whatever he could. He's not like sort of spinning them around and then like catching the middle link and then like you transferring all the force to like the other one and having it fucking slap or anything, which is like how you're supposed to use it. The chains are supposed to like sort of distribute the force between them. So like you swing it around and like move it around and gather the momentum, and then you just like force it into one end and it slaps around. Like that's how stuff like that is supposed to be used. He doesn't know that. He's not a cursed weapon user. He's just like he doesn't know any of this shit. He's not a weapon specialist. He shouldn't be using the complicated, crazy momentum based weapon.
Mm-hmm. But now he also still has that thing in him, the little evil stick.
Yeah, the it's like sapping his cursed energy. It just sucks ass.
Yeah. And even Hanami is just like, oh, it's supposed to just work better if I explain it, which is true. That's like the whole thing of like, if you explain your technique, then it will be stronger. Right,
we learned that, which is a really interesting writing thing from a writing standpoint, to have like give a reason for everyone to explain their techniques to everyone, because if they explain it, then it's more difficult to land. It's more effective if it hits. Mm-hmm. And it informs us, like gives an excuse to give ridiculously obvious exposition, but gives it a fighting purpose. I don't know if I'm a fan of that, but it at least makes it make sense, because they're gonna do it anyway. They're gonna have moments in a fight because it's a shonen where they explain their abilities, they explain their tactics and everything. Giving them a reason to do that. From a fighting standpoint, and giving them an advantage if they do that is a really or like a trade-off.
It just sort of fits into everything else. Like there's all the more constraints you put on something,
the pact,
the better it becomes. Like I'm working overtime now, so now I'm like extra powerful. Anything like that, and I feel like just adding the explanation to like other. Like, there's so many of those rules that it definitely fits in there and makes it better. because it's not like, oh, this is the one rule in this world that applies to their technique, and it seems like they just said that it was that just because, but it definitely fits in. I think it's really, it works well for this story specifically.
Alrighty, hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. I'm Carson. We'll see you in the next one.
I'm Lindsay.
Bye-bye.